8th edition of the African Women in Leadership Organization Conference held from the 22nd to the 26th of March 2016 in Johannesburg, South Africa. AWLO conferences have always been phenomenal, impactful, inspiring, and intriguing, amongst other benefits. However, this year's South African conference has been the most powerful. Resonating with this year's conference theme, "We've Got the Power," each speaker, listener, and participant has called to our deepest being. We have, at this conference, been called out to look into ourselves, to take the power within us, understand it, and put it to use. The founder, Mr. Alicia Atai, welcomed delegates to South Africa and restated AWLO's mission of offering the opportunity of aligning African women all over the world with experienced and dedicated professionals and entrepreneurs in all fields of endeavors.
Let me appreciate especially our beauty chairperson, Mommy Oprah Benson. Thank you very much for coming. Excellency Alangi, for being part of this, for the support you've given to the organization and the members. Thank you for coming. All our coordinators. We've started so late, so I wouldn't want to go one by one. I appreciate you. But let me thank this country, Tanzania. I have a whole country in this room. Her Excellency, the High Commissioner, thank you for coming. Thank you very much. And everyone, our media partners, thanks for your support. On behalf of African Women in Leadership Organization, I would like to warmly welcome you, our dear delegates, to this our 2016 annual conference. AWLO is proud to present our African women of worth to this amazing and beautiful country of South Africa, with its diverse cities, varied cultures, and unique history. I humbly acknowledge the role of political class in steering the affairs of this great nation under the rule of law, and feel highly elated that true Democrats meet us in this event. In AWLO, every woman can set aside all her fears and derive confidence in showcasing her innate potential in pursuing the passion of realizing her dreams. Today, all African women can boldly arise, courageously strive, and confidently declare that we've got the power. I want to thank you, and I believe by the time we leave here, we'll go with a very strong spirit to go and take over the world. Thank you, and welcome.
Her Excellency Janet Magufuli, the First Lady of the United Republic of Tanzania, speaking through Her Excellency Dr. Asha Rose Migoro, the former Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, delivered a keynote address wherein she recognized and appreciated AWLO for providing a veritable platform where people meet to contribute to global actions aimed at improving the political, economic, and social status of women in Africa and the world over.
Founder and President of AWLO, colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am really pleased to be here with you this morning, and I welcome the opportunity to share the podium with other remarkable women achievers. I bring with me the First Lady's best wishes for fruitful deliberations. And had she been here, this is what she would have said. So I'm going to read her speech verbatim. At the outset, allow me to commend you, the organizers of this event, for the outstanding job you have been doing since 2009, when the first conference was held in the beautiful city of Accra, Ghana. For over 5 years, you have managed to bring together women of various capacity, providing them an important platform to discuss issues that matter not only to them, but more so to our various countries. Please keep up this spirit. Forums like these contribute to global action towards improving the political, economic, and social status of women in Africa and the world over. Dear friends and colleagues, the theme of this year's conference, We've Got the Power, speaks loud to women's role as change agents in our communities and countries. Yes, we have got the power and the energy. We carry humanity for 9 months, we bring humanity to the world, and we nurture humanity to serve the world. We are the first teachers at home. We have the power to defy practices that limit women's creativity and leadership capabilities. More importantly, we as women leaders have the power to stand up and advocate for better conditions for the underprivileged and marginalized groups. Dear friends, just as the theme of this conference suggests, it is important to explore what we as women can collectively do. This distinguished gathering has brought together a diversity of strong women from all over. We should use the power of our unity to advance the women's agenda. Our experience sharing, taking best practices, hearing inspirational testimonies will go a long way to demonstrate exactly what the theme of this conference is. We've got the power, what it means. The power we have is not only about women's power, but also the power of our communities, societies, and countries, as women form the majority in many societies. We have the power to move together with our male counterparts to fight poverty, discrimination, and marginalization. Our power is about sustainable development. May I conclude my address by once again wishing you a very successful conference. Thank you for your kind attention.
The conference session for day one was opened with a powerful presentation by Mrs. Louisa Akaiso, who spoke on the topic, The Leading Woman, and urged women to use their influence to impact people who stand shoulder to shoulder with them, and most importantly, those people who stand behind them. She emphasized on the need to keep a positive image and introduced us to keep the ABC of achieving this. ABC being appearance, behavior, and communication.
Akaiso, oh, thank you. She's an image consultant, a trainer, a certified board mentor, etiquette, international protocol expert, motivational speaker, and leadership coach. So, Louisa, the floor is yours.
Are you calling yourself a leader while just taking a walk because there's no one working behind you? You're not making an impact if you're not influencing people. In order for you to be powerful and known as a real leader, you need to stop doing and start being. Do the people around you recognize you as a leader? Or you just think in your head that you're one? So my favorite quote is from John Maxwell. He says, "He that thinketh he leadeth and had no one following him is just taking a walk." So we need to know if you're taking a walk or you're actually leading after we leave this room today. Who is a woman leader? I explained to you a few seconds ago. It's not about your office. It's not because people in your environment notice that you have the biggest gele. Everyone knows what the gele is. I love the gele. But are you making a positive impact and adding value to people around you? The people around you are not those who were able to buy a ticket and come to South Africa, But like she said, look around. They are at the end of the street. There's somebody who cannot pay school fees. There's someone who cannot speak English. There's someone who doesn't have a home. What have you done? How have you stepped out of your comfort zone that is so comfortable to create that future that seems that is impossible? We can do it. We have the power. Positive image is something I love so much. And people neglect it, but it's very important. The ABCs of image. Appearance. If I got in front of you and I had my panties hanging down here and she introduced me, I'm sure people would start walking out of the room. She said, that's not the lady we've been waiting for. I don't think so. I don't think I want to listen to her. Dress how you want to be addressed. If you want to be addressed as a woman leader, look like a woman leader. Influence. You must have a good grade on positive image, intentional living, reproduction, passing on the power passionately, and of course, your leadership grade must go up. So when we talk about greatness, this greatness seems like it's so far from us. It's like, what is greatness? Am I sure that I can be great? I would use an example of a shoe. So everyone in this room can go to Walmart and buy the same pair of shoe. What makes you stand out of the pack? Can somebody tell me? If we all buy the same shoe, the same color, different sizes, how would you get yours noticed?
The way you wear it. The way you, or what you wear with it.
Okay, if we're not putting on any clothes, just the shoes.
How do you wear the shoes?
And you're not even asked to walk yet, just the shoe.
And posture.
You haven't been asked to pose, just the shoe. You are going to sell your shoe. How do you sell it? How can you market the shoe? Of course, you're going to talk about it. But visually, in looking at the shoe, what is going to attract me?
The color.
No, it's the same color. The polish.
Wow.
Let me take you down memory lane. I was from a village, I don't know about every other person here. But my grandfather could spend an hour polishing his shoes. So now you need the shoe, you need the polish, and you need what else? The techniques. Because you and I are very busy, and so we have just 2 minutes to spend on the shoe. Is it going to come out the same as my grandfather? No, because he spent an hour polishing his shoe. That's what makes the difference. Move from being good enough to being great. Pass on that power. And I'm just going to end with this. Women are more powerful than they could ever imagine. The world needs us to step into that power. Not tomorrow, not next tomorrow, not next conference in DC, but when? Now. We've got the power. Thank you.
The next presentation was by Theola Lambert on the topic "A Nobody Doing Something." She took members through her life experiences and recounted her victory over adversities. She persisted how honesty, trustworthiness, dedication, determination, tenacity, loyalty, hard work, and the resolve not to compromise her principles were key to her achieving her potential. She entreated women to remain driven and motivated, to stick to their goals, and when they attained same, to give back 100-fold of what they were blessed with.
As my introduction states on the program, I am a nobody. So what on earth is a nobody doing amongst all these distinguished guests? And what could I possibly have to offer such an accomplished audience? Well, the answer is simply that I hope to offer a perspective to you all in terms of your AWLO leadership and when you are recruiting people, of somebody that you might be encountering, and a simple way to actually encourage them to become a truly great leader and inspiration to everybody around them, irrespective of their circumstance. The special thing that changed my circumstances forever, guess what it is? Any of you can take a shot. It's not that I won the lotto. I still hope for that. I didn't marry a rich husband who took me out of all of my problems. I didn't inherit a fortune, unfortunately. I still look after both my parents, but somebody gave me a chance. One of those doors that I was knocking on, instead of being slammed in my face, opened. Somebody thought, here's someone who's determined, she doesn't know anything, she's eager, she's willing to learn. I was happy to go in at any rate, just to try to get something on the table. And he gave me an opportunity, hired me as a receptionist. Me, this nobody, was finally given a job. It was a reception position, and I threw myself into it with everything that I had. To me, that was my absolute lifesaver at the stage. I didn't have to go and do anything with the strange men who were trying to pretend to make my life any better. This allowed me to be myself and to do something valuable for the people that I loved. Anything that needed to be done in that place, I offered. Anyone needing help, I offered. I begged people to show me what it is that they did in the day. And I would spend nights at the office afterwards trying to recreate so that I could teach myself what the role entailed. But probably the best advice that I could ever give is stand your ground. Be the woman that you are, be strong, be brave, and stand by your morals and ethics. They will carry you through very, very difficult times. Ethics and morals can be achieved in a business environment. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. You can succeed, you can climb the corporate ladder without having to compromise your morals. Don't do it. What we need, and why I'm so excited about AWLO and these African women leaders, is that the more leaders we have in place that are women, that understand these plights, the less challenges women who are climbing the corporate ladder will be faced with these kinds of problems. And ideally, what should result from that is a more ethical and moral business culture. And that's what we need. I quickly became a director of the companies that I worked at simply because I accepted the increased responsibilities. And I supposedly reached the top. I became a CFO of a multinational company. I have become the financial director. I sit as a non-executive on several boards. I achieved everything I thought would be absolutely impossible.
Hard work, commitment, putting that extra time, making that extra effort. And that will change your story. That will make the difference. I think at this point, we will go for lunch because most of us are really hungry. I am hungry.
Her presentation was followed by that of Dr. Violet Arine, who spoke on the foundation of leadership and power for young women, wherein she called on AWLO to re-strategize and train young women with the view of making them into women with forceful personalities. This can be achieved by sensitizing them and making them become aware of who they are, by boosting their confidence and making them overcome timidity. She called into our dip to achieve excellence in all we do, as excellence expels discrimination.
A bit about myself. I left NMPC September 1, 1999 as a general manager. And anything I will tell you here is from experience. I shouldn't even have been educated. But it's not how you begin.
It doesn't matter how you begin, it's how you end up. Born on banana leaves, I was now born in a maternity home, where I can sponsor 1 million babies in maternity homes today to be born there. There is power for the woman already, but the challenge is for her to detect it, to believe it, detect it, understand it, and do a bit of analysis to understand the structure of power. Women, by nature, we are endowed with power. Sometimes we get too intellectual and intellectualize the reality of the facts. God has a central place in the quest for leadership by women, and there should be investment in prayers. I've used prayers to throw down very hostile men in the office, and I ended up as a general manager, and they fought me, I fought them, and I prayed that some of them I will see their back. You know, NMPs is hard political, and if you don't have God, you must have Satan. But I chose to have God, and I saw the backs of many of them. We have a scheme of power, which I stand here to explain to you, that AWLO must invest in strategy. This is the next segment. Because why? It's not just talking about us. We must be thinking about the future. Those who will succeed us. Talk about it maybe in 80 years and we haven't got there yet. But we have to prepare for those who will be there after we are gone. That is the task before us. The structure of power for the woman is soft power. That is a natural endowment. It's feminine charm, tenderness, gentleness, mother instinct, affection, love, gentleness. We are aided by God through prayers and also by the structure of the female brain. There is something about the woman's brain. The hormonal mix is very special. Hold on to your love and tenderness. Do not lose it. A woman should not be like a man. Don't try to be like a man. Be yourself, or be firm, assertive, committed, focused, prayerfully. You will win. Committed to excellence and meritocracy.
Day one came to a powerful close with the presentation of Dr. Matthews Fosa, a man who recognizes and knows he was born of a woman and has much respect for and desire for women to reclaim their space as leaders and create those synergies that turns a lack of political will into an unstoppable momentum.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm Mbuya Nehanda. And Mbuya in Shona means grandmother. And Mbuya Nehanda was a great leader of Zimbabwe. She was hanged. She was one of the first persons to be hanged in Zimbabwe. Maybe she was the first woman to be hanged. And before they hung her, she said, "My bones will grow a nation." Wow. And it happened that way. It was prophetic. Wow. So, again, one of the women said that there will, for example, be only 2 women leaders and 200 men in the training camps. And they would be approached relentlessly for favors in cause. It would begin by expression of love, to which they would respond, "No, I have a lover." The man would then say, "Let me be your underground." To which the woman would respond, "No, but I also have an underground." And the man would say, "Then let me be your second underground." And so it continued. The point that was made was that even while saving the movement under these conditions, they were always fully aware of the fact that their conduct and their success or failure as women leaders, as women of dignity, at the vanguard of the struggle, would be the measure by which generations of women to come would be gauged and treated by men, by which they themselves would behave. I believe they succeeded, don't you? Yes. As African men, I must ask myself the question whether we still see our mothers, wives and sisters as potential leaders of courage, strength and dignity, or as people who have to be tolerated because it is the right thing to do, or used to strengthen our own agendas. Our actions most certainly do not measure up to our words. I'm afraid to say that all too often one sees women politicians as co-facilitators of corruption and unethical conduct. They join us men. In truth, women are as corrupt as men. What example are you setting today? And to what extent are you, as women, honoring the legacy of those who fought and died for our freedoms? Whose example will the next generation emulate? In politics today, we see all around us weak and greedy men and women concerned with the here and now, seemingly uncaring of any future legacy. I would like to suggest that it is time for African women in leadership to rise up and promote good governance, ethics, which will be good for our people. The African Women in Leadership Organization aims to advance the status of women leadership on the African continent by creating an empowering platform for synergies of alliance between men and women and between men and women. The implications are very significant for personal, political, and social leadership, growth and development. The theme of the conference, "We Have the Power," is quite literally true. African men and women do have the power, both politically and personally, to shape the destiny of their countries and this continent, and to shape the destiny of the new world. And the challenge I give to you today is to ask what you are doing within your own countries, regionally and continentally, to foster those synergies between the male and female and between our African states that will result in the genuine rising of Africa. Whose job is it to make them come to fruition? I would like to suggest that it is yours. African women, claim your space as leaders and claim those synergies that turn a lack of political will into an unstoppable momentum. I lived in Mozambique for 7 years in exile, and I always was very fascinated by what's going on there. Men, and I don't want to make a general statement, are never on the field to till the land. It is the women. They are the providers of food. Up to today in the rural peasantry of Mozambique, that's what is happening. Where are the men? In South Africa today, we've got many challenges with our young democracy. It's a baby democracy. Never mind the pretenses. It's very young. Still have to learn from many African countries who were independent before. When you see people protesting in the streets for service delivery, it's not the women. The women are at work. The men are busy burning tires in the street. You see. That's what's happening at the moment. You watch on television, it's like a soapy. The men are there, the women are working. Now, the women must assert their position all the time. I was born by a mother, not a father. Thank you.
Adrienne Westman began day 2 with a presentation on the topic, Lead, Inspire, Empower. She led women into the wonders of turning our fears into fuel and the need for them to remain relentless and focused so as to become successful in their various businesses. She encouraged women to walk in their own path and to change their orientation from being product-focused to being people-focused.
Okay, so a little bit about me growing up. I did not grow up with parents. So at 5 years old, I was a provincial swimmer. Look at the shoulders. At 14, I was a Western Province, a provincial netball player. At 16, I was a provincial badminton player. And at 18, I was an international badminton player. So for me, it was about being the best that I could be. And all the drive and the passion that I have for achieving has filtered through to my business career. But in 2014, I felt like I hit a ceiling. Have you ever felt like you've hit a ceiling in business? And I started burning out. It was actually affecting my personal life as well. Isn't that the truth? So thank you for my children who are just wonderful and patient with me in my life's journey. But I decided and I realized that I've been coached my whole life to be a professional sports player. Why am I not being coached for business? So I decided that if I'm going to be coached, I want to be coached by the world's #1 wealth coach. And I took a leap of faith. and I signed up with JT Fox. JT Fox has taken me, my personal life, and my business to a whole different level. Very exciting. So I have been honored. I've been coached by Robert Kiyosaki. With Robert, he's very inspired by my idea that we need to transform employees into ambassadors, which would help a boss like yours understand that she can't treat you the way she wants to treat you because you are an ambassador, an important ambassador of a business. That we can't wait for corporations to do marketing and advertising, but we have powerful people within our organizations who can do it for us. So Robert's coming back at the end of this year, and we're developing a program that we want to take international. Then I've got George Ross. He's my business coach, Donald Trump's 2IC. Now Donald is very interesting. I don't know if you know a lot of his background. Despite what's happening in politics and the personal aspect of it, he's an amazing businessman. But he was given, when he was born, his father owned half of Manhattan, half of New York, which is a great privilege. So let's not hate the man, let's just say, lucky man. But the thing is that I didn't grow up with parents teaching me what his parents taught him. So I understand that I need to align myself with George Ross to understand what Donald knows, to be able to elevate my business and the students that I coach, their business, according to Donald Trump's strategies, right? George, if you are in the country, next month he's coming in again, and I would love to invite you to our event, and you can meet George Ross yourself. Very, very powerful man. Then I've got Wayne Allen Root. Go back, mouse. Thank you, baby. Then I've got Wayne Allen Root, and he was a presidential candidate in the US. He is now Donald Trump's spokesperson. So before he goes, he's the pump man. And he's taught me the power of being relentless. But us ladies, we know how to be relentless, because being relentless gets us to where we are today. So then, this is my coach, JT Fox, and if you meet him, you'll think he's an obnoxious American, because he is an obnoxious American. But you know what? I respect him for what he has done for me and what he does for me, because he gives you his coaches. And not a lot of people do that. They want to be the alpha and the omega, but he gives you access to his coaches. And one thing he's taught me is that your network is your net worth. So the ladies in here are now not just your sisters, but they are your network. And I just want to say, ladies, that who you surround yourselves is with who you become. Now, thank you. Now, in your cell phones, you've got negative people. And I want to give you the confidence today to go and press delete. Because we need to cut the people out of our lives that are pulling you down. And if they're pulling you down, it's because they are beneath you. And I want to inspire you that you today, from this day forth, you can rise, because we have a network. We are a sisterhood of professionals that want you to succeed. We're not going to compete against each other. We are going to rise together. Good? Okay. So in Forbes magazine, there's a list of traits of inspirational women. The first thing is, and I saw that in the AWLO message that we read this morning, is that they forge their own authentic path. Now, I don't want you to walk in my path. I don't want to walk in your path. But we all have our own paths. And this is about walking and going against the grain. We have to go on the road that is unpaved, unfortunately. But you know what? That's part of the adventure. Just do what you have to do. God gave me a message a very long time ago. He said to me, I must be faithful with the small things, and He will give me the big things. Now that is everything. That is a smile. That is a get up when a client comes in. That is a thank you. That is a response to an email. It's business etiquette. Be faithful in the small things, and He will give you the big things. And look at where I'm standing today. Then you can come, these are not my children. Even though I love them like they're my children. But God has called us to be a mother to many. And, come here, girls. And it doesn't matter, they don't have to be your biological children. We have got children in the community that we need to love, that are motherless. And I know Becky does the same. Becky lost her daughter a few years ago, but she gives back by having so many more in her house that her husband doesn't know what to do with. And I know, Dr. Doreen, you do the same, and Violet, and all of us, that we need to rise up. Say, rise up.
Rise up.
Stop being a victim.
Stop being a victim.
And be who you've called to be.
And be who you've called to be.
Thank you very much. So if Jemima can just tell you something, she just would like to give you a word of wisdom. Is that fine, Mommy?
Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love.
Wow.
The conference session ended with a panel discussion with Dr. Dorian Marari, Mrs. Louisa Akaiso, Rosemary Jairo, Fiola Lambert, and Daniel, who spoke and discussed issues that affected or tend to limit women from reaching their desired goals.
So I started a clothing business from home. And it grew from 3 machines to 12 machines to 25 machines to 75 machines to 120 machines until I had 7,000 people working. If you are going to be in anything concerning woman that is impactful to frame the world, it means that you will have to work hard. It's hard work and persistence on your part. Don't work for people to see as well, because nobody will see your work. They won't see it. They won't see you. I always work hard behind the scene to make sure that I change lives.
So I really want to know more about your experience on that. First of all, was it circumstance or passion? And also how you were able to go through all of that to be successful from 3 to 15 to 75 missions is really inspiring. Thank you.
My mainstream was not fashion wear. I saw a niche where Zimbabwe, the nation was going, the army had just come in and they need my expertise. Capitalize on what you see. You know, if it's a pin that you see a country needs, capitalize on that pin and make a mass of that pin if that's what you want to do.
It's personal, but I would like to share with you, my fellow women. When I got married, my husband told me he had 2 children, and I had no problem. In time, I came to realize there are 6 others. So I struggled with it. Some of them even came from Zimbabwe. I struggled with it, but it was something in my mind. I prayed to God. How do I handle this? Because I used to be a director in the Human Rights Commission, where I was in charge of child rights, you know? And you sleep in the same bed and cover the same sheet with a man who has neglected his children. Sure. And I believe in God, and I've accepted Christ, and I decided, and I said, God, this thing is killing me. So I started searching for those kids, and I brought him into the house. But because in the African culture, the Tanzanian culture, a stepmother is not a mother, always wants to harm, it was taken totally negative in the family. In my family, in my friends, in his family. And people told me, there's a friend of mine who took me out for dinner, and she said, what the hell are you doing? People don't do that. I said, I'm not people, I'm Rosemary. You know, I'm Rosemary. Those kids, their father has the money. They have to go to the same schools my kids go to. Wow. They have to ride in the cars. They have to go to the holidays. The issue was culture. It was culture. A stepmother is not a mother. But I was still battered in the house. And I would lie that this did not happen. This is what, and I would get out and keep up appearance and smile and all that. But it's all about fear. it's all about the little posh life which I had. If I go against it, then it means I go down. You know? So there are a lot of women. And what are my colleagues going to say? I work in the Human Rights Commission. I stand up for women, and yet I am battered. So if I go, what are people going to say? But one day I was battered, I broke my wrist, and I went to work with it, and my boss was telling me, oh, were you beaten? I said, yes, your friend, that guy, he beat me. And my head was broken, and everybody told in the management, everybody got a shock of it. And I said, it's the truth. You know what happened? That man came and told me, that man, my former husband, he came and told me that I will never touch you again, because the whole world came to him. Why do you do these things? You are this educated one. So it's a question of culture. Then he decided to divorce me and take me to court. It's not, you're a lawyer. It's not a very good experience to be taken to court and you don't know. You might be educated, but you don't know what it takes. And it's the fear in it. But you know what? I had to go to court with my lawyer. I had to go to court and stand there and fight for getting my rights.
Because when a culture threatens your life, your who you are as a person, that culture needs to change. Something needs to be done about. Thank you, Rosemary, for that. From the legal perspective, I mean, we have doctors who are lawyers. We have professors who are lawyers. What are they doing?
Let me start. I'm a lawyer. We start while we talk. What we need are women like this. These are the women that make the law work. We need women that can break the culture of silence. I can't help you if you don't talk to me. Wow. We have laws, from the international conventions to the regional laws to the state laws. But how would the law work when you are not talking? Wow. When you are keeping silent? When your husband defiles your daughter and you don't say anything about it because you want to remain married? I wouldn't know about it if you don't talk. It is people that drive the law. The law was made for people, but it is people that drive it. We have laws, a lot of laws. The Nigerian law is about 10 volumes. All laws. We don't even need gender specific, but we are fighting for laws for women. There are already laws we can use to protect women. I'm a member of FIDA. FIDA is International Federation of Women Lawyers. We have over 3,000 female lawyers in Nigeria, but we have about less than 100 that are active in FIDA. I am a lawyer with a heart. I practice law with a human face. There are days I break down in court, and the judge is like, "Does that?" I said, "No, look, I practice law from the heart because I was called not just to know the law, but to know people."
Yes.
And I don't talk a lot, but I'm going around my states, calling on women, come out, let's talk. We have to make people understand that we are women and we are peculiar, and our peculiarity must be taken into consideration in whatever decision the state is taking. We need women to speak out. Yes. Don't be afraid. I've had to bury 3 women that were killed by their husband. And I look at the man and say, "Man, you are going to hang. I am going to," they said, "Lawyers, don't persecute. I'm going to prosecute and persecute you. I'll make sure you feel every pain that woman felt." The effect of domestic violence is so much on the children that they grow up behaving like their fathers, grow up behaving like their, because you have violent women. It is not just you have to think about your children. You have to think about the future. So when you take a stand like that, you are protecting your children. You are making them understand, I don't have to sit here and take this. It is not wrong for you to fight for yourself. I don't care what society says. Did you care about that? What mattered was you. You are now happy. You you can go to bed without knowing that someone is going to lay a hand on you. You can talk without. There are some people that are really in fear of their husband. They are afraid. Once the man drives in, everything is. What is that marriage? No, it's not. In my place, before they don't allow you to buy property in your name, land in your name. You must buy your husband's name. And then 26, I found a woman like 36 years in marriage, the man throws her out. And then she's left with nothing. So how does she start? Please buy land in your name. Yes. And when you are buying cement for the house, let the receipt read, Mrs. This. I bought 10 bags of cement. Keep the receipts. Keep all the receipts. Because when it is time to fight, I need those receipts. Let's stand up for our rights. God bless us.
Let me teach you a lesson straight from a Tswana on how to approach a woman. Here in Botswana, when we want to approach a woman, we gather as men and we start singing this song.
Thank you, beautiful ladies. Beautiful, beautiful ladies. It's been an exciting 2 days. South African conference has been very impactful. Everybody that spoke, especially the doctor that spoke yesterday, the man that spoke yesterday, I was totally blown away by the things he said. And I hope he will be able to come back again when we come to South Africa. I'm going to just speak a bit about the One Mother, One Child initiative. The clip will show and tell you the whole story. What we're trying to do with the One Mother, One Child is to try and domesticate it in every country, state, every district, every corner, wherever AWLO is established. Dr. Viola in her presentation had said, what's our strategy? We need to have a strategy on how we can, yes, we want to do this. This is what we've identified that this is our problem. Women, girl child education, women are backward, women are this, women are that. We must have a strategy. And I said simply, our strategy is education, education, education. We must educate the girl child because when she's educated, she becomes a better leader, a better mother, a better wife, a better friend, a better colleague, a better entrepreneur. All round, she's better. I tell women, when we launched it last year, it is less than $200 to send a child to school in 1 year. 1 year, less than $200 at the current exchange rate. So you see, it is so doable. We have done it. We are in the field doing it. We have an office dedicated to it in Abuja. So it's something that every member can key into. What I want to appeal to our members and women leaders, we're not asking for you to give us money. Far from it, because usually that has always been the stereotype. Oh, these people are coming to ask for money. No, we don't want your money. We want you to identify a child. Go on our website, identify a child, see what it costs to put a child through school. If you're interested, then tell us. You pay the fees to the school. All we need to do is just to link you up with that child. We don't want to get involved with your money. You don't want to get involved with whatever it is monetarily, but just to guide you, because there are guidelines. If you want the child, consent from us, consent from the parents. If the child has a parent, sometimes it's an orphan, so the consent usually comes from us. So we do the technical legwork for you. All we do, we identify the child. Right now we have hundreds of children all over the place who need that support. We're not asking for you to give us money. We don't want the money. We can identify the child, identify the school, and then link you up. If you want emotional attachment, fine. The child will be in touch with you, giving you reports on how the child is doing. If you want the child to exchange numbers, exchange emails, you'll do that. What we just want the girl child or the boy to be in school. That's all we want. That's all we appeal. Like I said, an educated woman is a powerful woman. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you so much for coming. And there's this little thing I want to share with you. It's one of the best posts I've ever read on a woman. Please listen, it's worth it. I read that President Obama and his wife, Michelle, decided one day to dine at a local restaurant. Just as they sat down, a waiter came and whispered in Michelle's ear. She excused herself and got up to talk to a gentleman seated in the corner of the restaurant. When she came back, she explained to her husband that the person she just spoke to in the corner was the owner of the restaurant, who was her schoolmate and her first boyfriend. Obama laughed and said to Michelle, "Oh, so you would have been the wife of a restaurant owner." She laughed, helping him to run the restaurant. Michelle stood up, in turn smiled and said boldly to Obama, "No, my love, he would have been the President of the United States of America." So I say woman simply means W for wonderful mother, O for outstanding friend, M for marvelous, A for adorable sister, N for nicest gift to men from God. Do you all agree with me? Thank you, and God bless you all.
Okay, my job is just to give a few moments to about 3 persons here. If you have goodwill messages, goodwill messages from your country, from yourself, to us in AWLO.
Good evening, everyone. I would just like to say thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam Mommy, BOT. And I really want to say you've done a great job. I'm very passionate about women's affairs and children. And so I'm sure I'm definitely going to join. Insofar as my husband's going to Washington, I probably will be there too. But just to say, it's great to see people living their passion. Adrienne, you spoke to me this afternoon, and thank you very much. I know what I need to do.
My name is Sandele. I'm representing African Business Leaders Forum. You are doing a very good job. I just want to welcome you properly because I'm South African, and I know I'm a little bit late, but I want to promise you that next time when you come here, this place will be full because some of us get to know about you. And I would like to say that I'll come to Washington, definitely. I'm going to be there. Okay. Okay, it's 2 minutes at a time. Am I safe? Yeah.
Wow. So many people say to me, how do you keep up with a woman like that? Yeah. And very simply I say, I do not. And I never will. And I will tell you something, 7 words I will leave with you ladies, that was told to me by a woman. And I'll tell you who told it to me after I tell you these words. But they will change your life. And there's not many times that somebody can stand in front of you and say, 7 words will change your life. And this is what they are. Write them on the back of your hand. It's simply this. What I tolerate, I authorize to exist. And I think that when I heard the barrister speak today, and I think that is something that is in her heart. And I won't say as women, but I will say, ladies, what you tolerate, you authorize to exist. And it doesn't mean you allow it to exist, and it doesn't mean you let it happen. It means you give it authority in your life. It means you give it power in your life. It means that you authorize it to exist in your life. And those words were told to me by Oprah Winfrey. And they will change your life. They will change your life. And I think that in leaving this conference as a man, I see women who know exactly what they are willing to tolerate in their lives. And that makes me proud. It makes me proud because I know what we will have existing in our future. Amen. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Mark, for making this even harder for me. I mean, how do I beat that? But ladies and gentlemen, I also want to say a very big thank you to you, Mr. President. Thank you so much for this initiative. Somebody once said to me that Africa as a continent is the strongest woman because it gave birth to humanity. And so much, yet so much, was ripped of this mother continent. So much was taken away. Africa is a continent that has experienced the worst, and yet prevails. And it prevails because of women that are sitting here. I just want to say thank you.
And I think for me, what was empowering about these past 2 days was that for the first time I walked into a conference, I sat at the back of the room and not a single person recognized who I was. I didn't have to speak, I actually sat and I listened. And I got the inspiration that oftentimes, because you are the one who is speaking, you don't actually get to listen. You don't actually get to hear other people's stories. So I sat and I listened and I was inspired. And I'm thankful for the 2 days that I spent here. And I really want to say that it's a great job that you do. And hopefully next time when you come back next year, we can better prepare and be ready to receive you. I just want to say welcome to South Africa. And I hope you did have a great stay. And I hope this is not the last time. Thank you very much.
Evening, everyone. Really right, here. Okay, fine. If you all heard, my name is Jessica. I'm from Zimbabwe. Firstly, I want to thank the AWLO family for welcoming me into your family as your daughter, as your sister. Thank you so much. The main reason why I came to this conference was to network and get mentors, and I managed to do that. And I know next year this time I'll be telling you a different story. I really feel like it's the beginning of something new. And I know next time when we do another conference, there are going to be more Zimbabweans. When I told people about this organization, they just said to me, please go and see what goes on, and we can come with you next time. And I promise you, next time there are going to be more Zimbabweans, and AWLO is going to have another chapter in Zimbabwe.
And with those words, if I have the permission of the President and the BOT Chair and the Regional President, I'd like to welcome Thokozile Moyo.
Just appreciate the amount of youth I'm seeing here today. We are the future of any nation. And for you to be a part of something so great, when I was first a part of it, I knew that I could be a part of something greater than what I am. Something bigger than myself. And for Mr. Elisha to recognize me in the position that he has given me, I'm proud. We will continue to transcend the globe. Yes, we've got the power.
Yes.
We must empower too. I'd like to thank you all. I'd like to thank the great leaders I see in front of me. I'd like to recognize you as a leader. Your name might have not been mentioned on a special panel or a special board or as a speaker or anything. But I hope I got an opportunity to meet and greet you and give you a hug and let you know that South Africa is a friendly country to us all. I want to leave you with this quote by Martin Luther King. And it says, I quote, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy." Close quote. We can shape nations and an AWLO that we can all be proud, globally. Thank you.
The next time we're hitting South Africa, we're hitting Cape Town. And the Cape Town and Durban inauguration is going to be a mini conference. I'm happy that Andrea is here. Thank you for your support, your family, your husband. Westman, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I told Her Excellency that it's time we start recognizing the men behind the women. Because it's not easy. If they release you to come and support you, we must appreciate that. You know, so I really appreciate everyone. I will not say much than to encourage every one of us in South Africa to be part of this great organization. Visit our website to know what we're doing. We're all over the world. We're growing steadily. I want to use the opportunity to invite every one of us who can make it to Washington. In AWLO, we have two big programs every year. The one in Africa and the global conference. Our global conference this year is going to be in August 17th. If you look at your brochure, you see the advert. It's going to be there in August from the 17th to 21. Start now to prepare. It's going to be massive. And by the grace of God, I believe Michelle Obama will be with us. So please, I won't say more than to appreciate everybody. Please relax, have fun, be part of what we're doing. Make sure you want to get the pictures, the updates, everything that have to do with AWLO. You will see it on our website, www.awlo.org. Please make sure you also like our Facebook page. African women are great. They are so powerful, and we are so passionate about it. Thank you.